There is no doubt that football in Australia is on the rise. With over 1.96 million participants, a professional league entering its 11th season, a second-year cup competition pitting professional against non-professional players, and not to mention a thriving men and women national teams, football is solidifying its place in Australian sporting culture for the long term. But just how big can football in Australia grow? I sat down with head of the A-League Damien de Bohun to discuss this and much more.
The reality is that football has now moved past rugby union as the fifth sport. So by all the metrics, if you look at it, you've obviously got the AFL, the NRL, cricket, and now football, and rugby union's dropped behind that. So we've got a really clear ambition for football to be Australia's largest and most popular sport. And the role of the Hyundai A-League in that context is to become the biggest competition in this country now. A lot of people think, 5 or 6 years ago that was probably laughable, if you're straight about it, but all of a sudden it's not so laughable, and people are starting to take that threat seriously, the other sports are. And we know that there's room for everyone. The fact that our competition starts when the AFL and the NRL finishes is a good thing for us. And this is a 20 or 30 year conversation. We're not going to be the biggest competition tomorrow. But the one thing that we know for certain is that football is continuing to grow across the world. And the world is getting smaller, whether it be through the internet or how our kids consume the game. It's getting smaller, and so people are seeing football more every day. And it's becoming a logical destination for people to spend their time. And as Australia becomes even more multicultural, there's no doubt that football will become more prominent, and the wave of kids who are now participating in football will become tomorrow's fans.
Where do you place the A-League in an international context, and how do you think that could change in the next 10 years?
Look, a lot of people underestimate just how significant the Hyundai A-League is in terms of attendances on the global scale. So with our numbers last year, around about 13,000, it was a bit more than that average crowds. That makes the Hyundai A-League, I think, the 14th most attended football competition on earth. So it's bigger than places like Portugal, even bigger than the Brazilian league. So people overestimate sometimes how big the crowds are in different places. Now that's not to say there's not a lot of room for growth, but we're already up at that sort of echelon. So it's significant in that context. The quality of the football continues to get better, which is really important. And so linking into the global football context, we want our league to become one of the big leagues in the world. Now that's going to take 15 or 20 years, there's no doubt about that. But we have a unique environment. It's great to play football and to be really straight about it. The players, they know it's going to be good conditions here, and they enjoy it. And so we think that the league will continue to grow in that context. What's been pleasing, we have the Westfield FFA Cup leading into the Hyundai A-League season, and that obviously pits the professional players against amateurs. You have bakers, candlestick makers and bankers playing against professional footballers, and we nearly had a massive upset with the Brisbane Lions Soccer Club coming within really a whisker of taking Perth Glory out of the competition. But the crowds and the broadcast audiences for the Westfield FFA Cup are about 20% up on last year, which is a fantastic sign. So we're really excited about the new year. It'll be building on what we've done previously, but a lot of that is just doing some of the fundamental things, like making sure that fans feel engaged with their clubs, and that clubs are doing the right thing by their fans. So it should be a great year.
Can you put your finger on a dominating factor that you think would drive Australia's interest into football more?
Look, I think at the end of the day, the strategic advantage that we have is that we have the largest participation base, and for a long time people have just said, well, they'll take care of itself, or it won't. We're getting much more professional, much more active at converting those participants into fans, and that for us is the single biggest issue. So I think that when it's all said and done, the game is just a fabulous game. That's why so many people play it. There's 4 billion people around the world are participating in it. Australia and the United States are unique markets where it's fiercely competitive with other sports, so we're not the dominant sport in this market yet, but that will come. But the reality is, in a participation context, it is the sport that kids love particularly, and parents, and particularly mums, love. Mums have a much bigger involvement in making the decision about what sports the kids will play today. And football is both easy to play and also very safe. And so that has a real advantage, obviously, around other sports that are going around as well. So it sounds simplistic, but converting participants into fans over a medium-term period is actually what, in the end, will mean that football will become Australia's largest and most popular sport.